this man. He's absolutely hilarious. Give it up for the amazing Tommy Mellor, everybody!
Look at all you guys. I'm a shy adult. So choosing to film was, they told me, like, oh, yeah, 3 cameras will be on you. I'm like, that's a lot. Very shy. And the problem with it is it's not cute anymore. Right? When I was a child, people loved that. They're like, look at a little scamp scared to talk. I'm 33 now. It's creeping people out. I'm creeping out. I can't do regular guy things. Like, everything's a nightmare for me. I took an Uber here, right? If you take an Uber, you have to talk to the guy, and I don't know how to do that. Right? I talk to Uber drivers like they're strippers. Right? You know, he picks me up, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I like that. Yep. And they drop me off, and I'm like, great tits. Great the whole ride. It's tough being a creepy adult, because this was my biggest fear. Right? When I was a kid, I was always like, I hope I don't grow up and become creepy to women. And then I looked in the mirror today, and I'm like, oh, fuck. That's not good. And it's gotten to the point now where I actually started going to therapy. And I told my therapist, like, hey, I'm scared that I'm creepy. And she said, I don't think you're creepy at all, actually. So I followed her home. Right, you're not going to undermine me like that. It's hard. I'm anxious all the time. I always feel creepy, and I am a little bit creepy. Like, I think I scare women, especially at nighttime. At nighttime, I'm terrifying. Right? So I know if I'm walking down the street at night and there's a girl in the street, I know that I have to cross the road. Otherwise, they think I'm going to murder them. Right? And you know what? Probably not going to. Right? Just trying to get a shawarma home. Don't got time to be murdering anybody. Right? I know they're scared, though, because I've heard them make fake phone calls. Yeah, you might have heard these before. You might have made them before. They're walking down the street, and they see me, and they're like, oh, hey, Jessica. You're going to see me in 3 minutes. So, yeah, now we all know that. And I'm just walking behind her like, okay, she thinks I'm going to kill her, so I need to fix this. I need to smooth it over. I need to make my own fake phone call. Right, so I pick up my phone, and I say, hey, I'm going to be there in 2 minutes. Just need to murder this lady real quick. No, I don't murder women. I'm quirky like that. I don't believe in it. I like them alive. Sometimes I am walking behind a lady and she doesn't look scared at all. And part of me is like, am I going to murder her? Like, you should be a little scared. I don't like it. I don't. I had a tough day today, actually. I'll tell you, I live in an apartment downtown. My building has laundry, but the laundry costs loonies because it's very archaic. And I never have loonies. So what I do once in a while is I'll take $40. I'll go to the gas station. I'll get $40 worth of loonies. So I'm set for a long time. But today I was coming home with my $40 worth of loonies, and I ran into a homeless guy. And he's like, hey, you got any change? Yeah, I'm like, fuck, I have more change than I've ever had in my life. Right, you know how stressful that is? Where I gotta look this guy in the eyes now and be like, no. And then walk away with the loudest pants. That's tough, but I can't spare. Loonies are powerful, especially in Canada, right? You need a loonie for a lot of stuff. You go to the grocery store, it costs a loonie just to use a shopping cart, right? I know this, we all know this. So I have a loonie that lives in my car, and I use it just for shopping carts, right? And sometimes when I'm putting that shopping cart away, some loser will intercept me and be like, hey man, I forgot my loonies, but I have 4 quarters. Do you want to trade me for your cart? And I have to be like, no. Because I don't want to be like you later. I want to prowl around the parking lot like some goblin, like I'll trade you these pelts I have, perhaps for your cart. No, it is tough. I'll tell you this is something I'm pretty excited about. I have an Asian girlfriend, and I know you're looking at me like, probably. I just have one of those faces. Like, he probably has an Asian girlfriend. And I do. And she's wonderful. And she's really proof that if you ask the universe for something, the universe will give it to you. Because ever since I was a little kid, I was like, fuck, I'd love an Asian wife. That'll be great. And my girlfriend is Pakistani. And I'm like, well, that's not what I meant, but I'll take it. That's great. It's still great to have somebody. Right? Because it's hard to talk to girls. I know this, right? There's rules to talking to girls. I've seen TikTok. I know the rules. I've seen the videos where they're like, hey guys, hot tip. If she's wearing headphones, don't talk to her. I'm like, that's fair. I won't bother her. Next video. If she's sitting alone at night, leave her alone. I'm like, that's also a fair tip. I'll take that to heart. Next video. Just don't ever talk to them. Right? You scare them. You look scary, especially at night. It is tough, though. I read this, too. I read that women know if they like you within 7 seconds of seeing you, which is tough for me because it takes them about 8 seconds to realize I'm not homeless. I am glad to see her, and I'm glad to have her because I am a creep. I am a creep. She doesn't really know that yet, but I'm pretty creepy. Like, I watch OnlyFans. I don't know if any of you are on there. I'll subscribe. I'll get on there. Right? I learned about it from a friend. He came up to me and he said, you got to go on the OnlyFans because it's the most ethical way to watch porn because the sex workers get all the money. That's why I'm on OnlyFans. That's what he told me. And I'm like, I feel like you're bragging about jerking off. I mean, he's right. It is the most ethical way to watch porn, but ethics is really a post-cum idea. Right? I'm not thinking about that. Right? A lot of these OnlyFans girls confuse me. A lot of them, what they do is they'll post like a naked picture of themselves and then have like a caption. And I saw one, there was a girl, she was naked, and her caption was like, how many times would you guys fuck me? And people commented on it. They're like 6 or 7 times. And I was just like, probably just once. That's all I have in the tank, honestly. And I'll be real honest with you. I might just jerk off. Like, I'm in my 30s now. Sex is pretty great, but it's also a little bit exercise. I could do without that. Some girls are cocky on there in a weird way. Like another girl, she posted a nice spicy picture, and her caption was you wouldn't even know what to do with me. What do you talk? I would do sex. Right? You think I'd be naked and I'd be like, Jumanji? Or I might just jerk off because I am tired. It is weird because now my computer knows that I'm watching this stuff, so I get weird targeted ads now. Right? I get this targeted ad a lot. You guys probably get it too. It's like, you guys jerk off. It says, local sluts in your area want to fuck you. And I'm like, okay, well, do they know you're calling them sluts? That seems rude. They're kind enough to want to fuck me. I'd hate to go out with one of them and be like, so you're a slut, I hear. Like, what you just call me? Like, my computer told me. I don't know. It's a Mac. You know, they are. Right? And then I was worried about what the computer's telling them about me. Right? Like, creepy bald guy who wants to fuck. Or maybe just jerk off. Well, you don't know. It's baffling. I don't know. I have a girlfriend, so I don't know why I'm getting these ads to begin with, right? And I started thinking about it, and I'm like, maybe it's just warning me about the sluts. Right? So I'm prepared for them. Right? So I could be like, baby, there's sluts in the area. Lock the door. They're going to try to ruin our family. Oh, it is weird. Another targeted ad I got a targeted ad that was for breast pumps. And I think I know why. Because, and this is going to sound weird, and I don't mean it in a weird way, but I kind of want to try breast milk. Now, don't be like that. Or I'm not asking to taste it from the tap or anything. I'm just curious. I've had it before. I just don't remember what it tastes like. And, I seem to have enjoyed it a lot back then. Maybe I'll enjoy it. I don't know. I'd like to try a little squirt. But I get stressed out because I'm worried that trying it would be considered cheating on my girlfriend. Right? Because that comes out of a lady. It feels very personal. Right? It feels like it might be cheating, right? Because if she came home and she's like, hey, I just tasted cum today. I'd be like, what? And she's like, relax, it was in a glass. Like, that's... I don't know if that's better, right? I try not to be creepy. I try not to scare people because, like, especially women. I don't want to scare women because I love all women. I really do. I don't care what shape or size you are. Like, I don't even care what junk a lady has down here. Right? I treat that like a Kinder Surprise. Right? Like, I don't know what toy's down there, but I'll play with it. Right? I treat genitals a lot like a Netflix suggestion. You know, where Netflix would be like, hey, if you like women's vagina, you might like women's penis. And I'm like, yeah, I bet I will. I'm going to give it a crack, you know? And I did, and it turns out it's a lot like when you go to a restaurant and you're like, I'll have a Coke. And they're like, is Pepsi okay? Yeah, turns out Pepsi's just fine. Look, I might even have 2 Pepsis. Look, I'll have a Mountain Dew. I don't know what that is, but it's exciting. Right? Then Netflix gets cocky with you, and it's like, okay, well, if you liked women's penis, you might like men's penis. And I'm like, okay, well, no, I don't know about that one. But you were right the last suggestion. I gotta believe you a little bit here. So I tried that out. Didn't care for that at all. Tried it out, though, because we all tried new hobbies over lockdown. Like, I'll suck a fella's penis. I'll tell you this, I learned a lot, though. Really made me respect women a lot more. Right? I found this out about sucking dick. Hurts to do. Didn't know that. I feel like women are half lizard. That's the only way you're opening your mouth that wide. It's really, like, honestly, like, if you're a lady in here who sucks dick, give yourselves a round of applause. Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to find out where y'all are. That's for me. That's for me. I fucked up, though, because I remembered this after I did it. I remember when I was growing up, my friends always used to say this to me. They'd be like, hey, would you ever suck a dick for $1 million? And then I did it for free. Like, fuck, did I just lose money on this? I'm texting my friends in a panic, like, hey, remember that bet we had? Better pay up quick, because I'll suck another one. God knows I can use the money. No, it is weird being a straight guy who's done gay stuff. Because nobody trusts you. Right? Conservatives are like, we're pretty sure you're just a gay guy. And liberals are like, we don't know what you're doing, but we don't like it. I get a lot of questions, though, because I've hooked up with trans women, and people have a lot of questions about that. Like, I got this question a lot. You've hooked up with a trans woman. Do you think that's gay? And if you ask me, I don't think it's gay at all. Right? But when I was sucking her dick, felt a little bit gay. Right? But I think that's fine. I think sometimes we as straight guys do stuff that's a little gay. Right? I'm dating my girlfriend now. Last night, I tucked her into bed, and I kissed her on the forehead, and I said, I love you very much. And that also felt pretty gay. I had another friend, he's like, oh, no, I don't think I could ever hook up with a trans woman, because what if I did, and she had a bigger penis than me? I'm like, well, you could probably still fuck her. You just need to ask, please. Like, do you think she would make fun of you? Like, you'll be fucking her, and she'll be like, fuck, I wish you were fucking me with my dick. Boy, that'd be a lot better. Tell you this, though, I'm originally from a small town. I'm from a town called Bowden, Alberta. Yeah, we have a prison. That's what we're known for. It's weird, because I had to go to school with farm kids. And I don't know if any of you ever went to school with farm kids, but they're not real children. They're weird. They act strange. They're way too political, way too early. Like, if you went and asked a second grader in a small town what he did on the weekend, he'll be like, I worked a 9-to-5 job. Yeah, I told that joke once, and then a farmer got mad at me. He's like, we actually wake up at 5 a.m. And they're way too political. They're all like, right away, they're like, fuck Trudeau. Like, how do you already know about that? Right, and I even had a thing, I remember in grade 3, a kid came up to me, and he's like, fuck, they're after our jobs. And I'm like, okay, I don't have a job, but who's after them? He's like, the Mexicans, they're gonna take my job. Like, they're gonna take your job from your dad's farm? Your dad's gonna fire you? Bring it up with him, I don't know. Small town people are weird. Like, I had to learn how to be a man there. Which is you have to ask a farmer how to be a man, and they're never woke about it. Right? Like, they told me this, they're like, hey, you're not a man unless you drive a truck and you hunt. And I'm like, fuck, am I trans? Like I don't have any of those things. And they don't know what trans is. Like it baffles them, and they should know, because they all drive trucks, and they call their trucks something like Susie or Lucy, and then all their trucks have truck nuts on them. And it's like, yeah, that's what it is. You're halfway there. No, it is cool. I am having a pretty exciting year. I'm actually getting married later this year. Very excited. My partner, she's Pakistani, so we're getting married in Pakistan. And they get married a bit different than us. Like when we get married, I'm going to be wearing traditional Pakistani garb. And it looks really cool, or it would look cool on a brown guy. On a white guy, you look like a wizard. Which I think is every guy's dream. To get married looking like a wizard. But it's a little bit weird because the outfit includes a turban. And I'm like, fuck, I don't think I'm allowed to wear that. Like, we can't show anybody these wedding photos. Right? Because what if I run for prime minister? I don't want to get Trudeau'd. Mind you, he did get elected, so maybe that's a good move. They do other weird stuff, like they have traditions that I don't care for. Like she told me, she said, during our reception, there's going to be a point where my friends and family are going to steal your shoes. And then you have to buy the shoes back for about $1,000. I'm like, what the hell would I do that for? She said, because it's fun, because you're trying to leave to consummate the marriage, and they're slowing that down by taking your shoes. I'm like, yeah, okay. I don't need shoes to fuck you. Right? I've never fucked you with shoes on before. She doesn't let shoes in the bed. I thought it was crazy. I told this to a friend of mine, and he's like, no, man, you should fuck with shoes on. Because that gives you traction. That lets you fuck against the wall. Like, why would I want to fuck against a wall? Like, I have pictures and shit on my wall. Right? He's like, you're not going to care in the heat of passion if that gets knocked down. I'm going to care. Right? Nobody wants to fuck, knock a bunch of shit over, and then be like, okay, well, let's go sweep up glass now. Because that's in our carpet, so that's fun. Well, good thing I'm wearing the shoes. That would have cut me up big. No, she's a really cool girl. I'm happy to be dating her. It's funny, we have like weird cultural differences, and I make fun of her all the time for it. Like the other day, she came up to me. Her shoe was all messed up, and she's like, "Hey, where's the nearest cobbler?" And I'm like, "I don't know, probably Heritage Park." Like, I'll tell you what, I'll look up on my phone where the nearest blacksmith is. There might be one around there. I made fun of her for 45 minutes. And then I found out cobblers are still a real thing. There's a lot of them. She's weird, though. She's one of these girls who thinks every man is a handyman. And I'm the furthest thing from it. But it's annoying. Sometimes she'll come home with like a bookcase in a box. And then she'll be like, whenever you're ready, set that bad boy up. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I think you meant to date my dad. Right? I can't help you with that. I can help you summon a blue eyes white dragon. Well, that's about it right there. It's cool, though. We're kind of a similar age. We're both millennials. There's a lot of different generations here tonight. Make some noise if you're a millennial in the house. That's my people right there. How about some Gen Xers? Oh, fuck yeah. Love a Gen X. Baby boomers? Okay, a little delayed, so that makes sense. I love it. I love different generations because I think we all have we all have different kind of wins. I feel the worst for Gen X because Gen X, you had very uncreative parents. Because there's quite a bit of Gen X in here. Most of you are probably named Mike. There's a couple of Daves, but that's it. You guys have like 3 names, right? And Gen X is the weirdest about what they brag about because they had computers, but also outside. So they're the first to be like, we didn't play in computers. We went outside and played. And you're like, oh, cool. So like on a playground? And they're like, no, we played under overpasses. Just with bottles of broken glass. Like, why are you bragging about that? We're hard on the Gen Zs. You know, people are always like, Gen Z, they eat Tide Pods. I don't think that's true. I don't think you eat. I think you tasted them. And then boomers, congratulations on having a house. It seems fun. I'd love to have one. How do you do that, right? If I say fuck Trudeau, could I have one? I'll do it. I'll do whatever you say, all right? Right? 'Cause the boomers are tough on millennials. They're always like, oh, millennials, you don't have houses because you're spending money on avocados. Right? And they think that because when they bought a house, it was as much as an avocado. And I'm a millennial, and we like dumb stuff. We get excited about the dumbest internet things. I remember a number of years back, we all got pretty jazzed up about a thing called the sham wow. And if you don't know what the sham wow is, or you don't remember, it's a rag. It's a rag, but it uses new towel technology. And thank God, because we were screwed before. Right? They just slop Coke on the floor in the ad. They're like, look at this. Regular paper towel can't clean this up. Look, I think it can. I think it's been doing it. Like, what have you been doing before when you spilled? Like, fuck, we gotta move. We gotta leave. The Germans haven't figured it out yet. They even told us it was a scam right in the title, right? They're like, it's a sham. Wow, they're still buying it. It's cool though. Millennials too, we're supposed to be like the first very woke generation, and I try to be, but I mess it up a lot too sometimes. Like I still catch myself. Like the other day, my friend came up to me. He painted his nails pink, and at first I was like, oh, that's cool. He's expressing himself. There's still the back of my mind. I still have the thought of like, oh, that's pretty gay. Right, like I've sucked a dick, but that's pretty gay. That's a little much. Right? And I hated that I thought that. I caught myself. I'm like, what am I doing? I felt like I was in my parents' generation, because my parents' generation was always worried about masculinity and stuff. Like they were like, we could drink beer and whiskey, and that's it, right? And we had to trick them to drink coolers, right? Like we had to invent Mike's Hard Lemonade, right? Because then they're like, whoa, what? Mike made it? Yeah, Mike made it. And it's hard, you say. Oh, it's fucking hard, but if Mike made it, I'll have a little sip, I guess. Yeah, I don't know why the painted nails triggered me so much. I think part of it was like, if he paints his toes, I'll fuck him. Like, there's gotta be a lie there. In our generation, we're very open. We're the first generation to kind of introduce like new genders to the mix. And I love it. I think the new genders are great. More things to fuck. It's exciting, right? But I don't know what a lot of them are. I support them, but I don't understand fully. Like, I don't know what non-binary means, really. I've asked people. And they're like, oh, it's not a guy or a girl. I'm like, okay, but nobody's been able to answer my questions. Like, my main question is, if I get attacked by a non-binary person, can I punch them? And the answer I've been getting is sometimes. If it's a boy non-binary, you tap them a little bit. And then after somebody told me, like, why would a non-binary person even attack you? I'm like, I don't know, maybe they heard me tell that joke. Anything could happen. I like being a millennial. That's why I get along with my fiance, because like I'm like a millennial adult, and she's more like a real adult, right? Where it's like it's equal, but it's different, right? Like I'll spend money on things like Legos, like fun activities we could do together to bond, and she'll spend things like buying the house that we live in. Right? And a lot of that was strategic, I gotta be honest, because growing up, very conservative parents, they would always say things to me like, the fucking immigrants, they're gonna take everything from us. So I'm like, okay, better date one of them. Yeah. And that's worked out huge for me. I feel like a rich guy. Just living off of the back of a hard-working immigrant. It's fun. Our house looks crazy, though, because we have different tastes. Like, she lets me decorate sometimes, or as she calls it, colonizing the house. But we have different styles. She likes her traditional Pakistani style, and I'm an anime fan, so I have a bunch of Dragon Ball Z shit around the house. So if you came to my house, she'd be like, okay, a Pakistani woman lives here, and also a little Japanese boy. And they're making it work. That's fun. Living with a girl is wild. I learned a lot. Like living with a girl, you learn a lot of stuff. Like I didn't know this. When you live with a girl, you suddenly have a bedtime again. Right? I didn't know that. We'll just be watching TV, and she'll shut it off and be like, okay, bedtime. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess. The first time she said it, I thought, oh, we're going to go have fun in the bedroom now. But she just goes to sleep. I'm like, fuck, I have a bedtime. That's... Right? She's crazy. Sometimes she picks my clothes up off the floor, and she'll be like, you know, I'm not your goddamn mother. I'm like, okay, well then stop giving me a bedtime. Right? Let me stay up for the weekend at least. It is nice. We got a lot of housewarming gifts when we moved in together, which I thought was very kind. But somebody got us a very passive-aggressive housewarming gift. They got us a $100 gift card to the dollar store. And I'm like, first of all, I don't even think you're allowed to spend that much money there. I think you need to call ahead and be like, hey, I'm coming down with this, so... Like, yeah, come on, we'll shut the store down for you. Come get 100 pieces of garbage. I didn't know what to get. I was baffled. I ended up buying scissors. And I bought scissors specifically to trim my pubes. Right? Because you need to do that. Right? Nobody tells you have to do that. Right? Never once growing up were my parents like, hey, trim your pubes before bed. Right? You just find out. Right? You just look down one day and you're like, my dick's a chia pet. I got to do something. So I got the scissors. I'm like, the scissors are a good idea. But I messed up a little bit because I kept the scissors when I wasn't using them in the kitchen. Because that's where scissors belong. And then one day I walked in and I saw my girlfriend using them to cut up vegetables and stuff. And I didn't say anything. Right? Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, oh, hey, no, those are pube scissors. Like, what? She's gonna stab me with the scissors. I don't want that. When I moved in with her, she threw away a lot of my stuff. The first thing she threw away was my shampoo. I had a 3-in-1 shampoo. Right? I don't have any hair, so I was mostly using it for the one. Right? Like a deal. But she's like, oh, this is terrible for your hair. I'm like, well, good news. Don't have any. And she's like, yeah, well, the hair you do have will look a lot better with a different shampoo. I'm like, what kind of compliments do you think I'm getting out there? You think people are going to point at me and be like, hey, look at that mostly bald guy. Oh, the hair he does have looks fantastic. She's a cool girl, though. My girlfriend is Muslim. I had to convert in order to marry her. That was part of the rules. So I'm a Muslim now, but I'm a bad Muslim. I converted it to be just a bad one. We're not allowed to drink alcohol. I am doing that right now, and I like that because I used to be drunk, and now I'm just a sinner. I'm a bad boy. I'm very interested in her stuff, though. Like, I try to learn as much as I can from her. Like, Muslims pray 5-6 times a day. I forget to brush my teeth twice a day. But I don't have the stuff. Like, she has a prayer mat that she uses, and it's beautiful. I'm white. I have white guy stuff. I have a sleeping bag. And I could use that, but it's not even pointed towards Mecca. It's pointed towards Mecca, where I bought it. That's all I have there. I thought there would be perks to converting. I have a lot of Muslim friends, and sometimes when they go to shawarma joints, they get extra meat on their shawarma. And I'm like, I bet I'll get the extra meat now. But I don't, because they don't believe me. They don't treat me with respect at all over there. Right? Every time they get to the hot sauce, they always ask me, are you sure? Like, yeah, I have one of you at home. But in all honesty, I'm not allowed. I cannot handle that spice at all. No, she's great. She helps me in a lot of ways. One of the best ways that she helps me, though, is usually if I'm walking around and just by myself and people see me, people just assume that I'm racist. Right? Because I don't know if you guys ever seen a racist before. But unfortunately, they look exactly like this. Right? Like, I look like I yell stuff like, not in my town. And I don't like that. Right? I'm not racist, unless there's traffic. Usually not. It's tough having this face. I know what I look like. I'm scared to do a lot of stuff because I know, like, I'd love to go to the bar and order a Negroni. I'm scared to say that. Right? I know it's a different word, but when you look like me, not different enough. Right? So sometimes having my little Pakistani girlfriend next to me makes me seem less racist. Other times, it makes me seem even more racist. Because I don't know if you guys know this about immigrants, but they are the most racist people on the planet. She'll say wild shit, but she'll say it about other brown people. So I think it's allowed. I don't know. I know it ruins my day. We'll be walking through the park together holding hands, and she'll be like, fuck, there's a lot of brown people here. And I don't know what to do. That's my girlfriend. I want to support her, but like, what am I supposed to do? Like, oh, yeah, well, it sucks. Okay, wish there was less. I don't know. Let's get out of here. Yeah, and I'm learning about, like, there's a lot of things like I didn't know about. Sometimes I call her out on her racism, but I somehow seem more racist. Like Pakistanis and Indians don't get along because of the cricket or something. So she'll always trash talk Indians. She's like, oh, these fucking Indian guys. And I'll be like, I'm going to call her out. But then I just sound more racist because I'll be like, aren't you guys the same thing? And no, vastly different. You'll get yelled at for a long time. She speaks Urdu. She's taught me a bit of the language, and it's fun to learn. I've learned mostly the swears. Like, I asked her, like, what's the big swear there? And she said we say panchode. And I'm like, oh, what does that mean? And she says, it means sister fucker. And I'm like, oh, that's cute, because we say motherfucker, but you guys do the sister thing. And, that's interesting. And then I asked her, like, why don't you guys say cousin fucker? Right, because they do that a lot. And we act like that's weird, but we know Red Deer. Like, it's the same. It's fine. So I asked her, like, why don't you guys say cousin fucker? And she's like, oh, we don't have a word for cousin. I'm like, oh, that's convenient. Oh, we don't have a word for the weird thing we're doing. Yeah, she shouldn't teach me swears, but she does. She taught me the other one. The other one she taught me is chutia, which means cunt. And I don't like that she told me that, because like I use it for evil right away. I went to Dairy Queen. I made the guy write it on a cake. I don't know why I did it. I just felt powerful in the moment, like he doesn't know. And then I just ate that cake by myself, like I showed him. I made him write a bad word. I don't know. She is great, though. She helps me. Like, the one thing I love about her is that she thinks I'm a cool dude. Yeah, and I'm the farthest thing from cool. I'd love to be cool. I'd love to go to the store and buy, like, cool guy shoes, right? Where, like, Gen Z would be like, fuck, this guy's cool. But I can't, because I don't know anything about rap music, right? And rap music and shoes, very intertwined, right? Every time I'm at the store, they're like, what do you want, like a Lil Wayne shoe or like a Yeezy? I'm like, I don't know. Like, what rapper cares more about lower back pain? Is it T-Pain? Because that's all I need to know, right? Right, because it used to be basketball players and shoes that were intertwined, and that made more sense to me, right? I know it's a basketball shoe, so I know the shoe's good for sports. I don't know what a rapper shoe is used for, right? I know it's good for getting bitches on the floor. But I can't go on the floor because lower back pain. I'm going to keep it up here. Now, this has been a fun night. This is a great space to do my special and my favorite club. I'll tell you one of my favorite things about this club. Great washrooms. Fantastic. Sometimes you go to a bar and they have fucked up shit in their washrooms. Like the other day, I was at a bar. I walked in, and next to the toilet was a plunger. And I'm like, what is that doing there? Right? Because I don't know about you guys, but never have I been drunk, walked into a washroom, seen a clogged toilet, and then think, oh, this is my problem now. Like, oh, lucky for this bar, I've always wanted to be a plumber. I could finally shine. I don't get it. I don't even know how people clog toilets to begin with. Right? Usually it's because you use too much toilet paper, And if you have to use that much toilet paper, just shit outside. Right? You don't have it figured out. I've had to shit outside once in my life. It was both terrifying and exhilarating. I was squatted down. I was looking around for predators. I didn't know what was going to happen. It didn't happen to me in a great place, though. It happened to me the parking lot of the University of Calgary. Now, I didn't plan to do it. I didn't wake up that day like that's what I'm going to do today. What had happened is I had eaten a whole cheesecake. Apparently, you're not supposed to eat a whole cheesecake. I'd probably do it again. But it was scary because the university had security guards walking around, and I was so scared to get caught. I don't know what they could do. You'd be like, hey, stop that. Like, I don't want to be doing this either. Like, right? I did get away with it, though, a little bit, and I say a little bit because I don't carry toilet paper around with me. Right? I had to play a game called Pretend You Have a Wiped Ass. That's not a fun game. There are no winners. You got to field a lot of questions. Most of the questions, what's that smell? Like, cheesecake mostly. Anyway, you guys have been a lot of fun. I've been Tommy Mellor.
Give it up one more time for Tommy Mellor.